Hello, everyone. If you are watching this, you are watching our recording of our women's health event. We hosted this in person. We got such great feedback that we wanted to host this online. My name is Shelby, and Brooke is here with me too. You'll hear her next. And we are here to just share some facts on women's health, some time of the month remedies, some menstrual holistic options for you all. We're going to talk about seed cycling. We're going to talk about the power of plants for women, the power of food for women's health. We're going to make this short and sweet. We are here to promote and inspire healthy living and make this fun. And we are not experts, but we are just two moms that love health, love nutrition, love learning from people that have dug into research and that have paid it forward to us. And now we want to pay it forward to you guys. And we hope you can pay this forward to someone else. And you can take this and apply this to your life in some way. And if not, you can share this with someone. So that's a little bit of an overview of the event. We're going to be speedy. We're going to kind of just throw some facts at you. We're going to share some stories. We know everyone's time is valuable, so we want to make this as short and sweet and informative as possible. So I'm going to hand it off to Brooke. She's going to be talking about menstrual health. Let's go.
Hello, I'm Brooke. So I started looking into menstrual products when I was pregnant with my son. So almost 7 years ago now. And obviously they weren't something I was going to be using while pregnant. But I wanted to start educating myself for when my cycle came back after I had my son. And so most girls get their cycle between ages, around age 11. I got mine at 9 and some get it later, but it just goes to show how long you have your cycle throughout your life and how young you start. And so the things you put in your body, are just going to last and like go with you through, adulthood. Sorry, children. So, so the products you use for your cycle, for your period, they're going to impact your health in the long run. And I just learned a few short facts, but the tampon was developed in 1931. So really it hasn't been around that super long. Previous to that, women would just use, cut up strips of cloth and use that for their menstrual cycle and then wash them by hand, dry them, and use them again. And then the first menstrual cup was developed in 1937 and kind of reintroduced in 2003. So that's also really relatively new. But we're slowly learning the repercussions like a traditional tampon with all the chemicals has on our body. So I just want to share those other options with you because most of us have used the traditional pad or tampon, which I used until I had my son. So no judgment, because that was all I knew. But I want to show you the cup, which is what I use now. So these cups are good for 10 years. So it's also a cheaper option because they're about $30. But tampons are expensive and pads. And it just kind of goes to show too that like they're expensive and they have so many chemicals in them. So you're not in that sense getting like what you pay for. Because we usually think if you're paying more money, it must be better for you, but that is not the case in this situation. So super easy to use. This one is the Lynette brand. You've probably all heard of the Diva Cup. So this one's a little softer and more flexible. And so for example, this one comes in a size 1 and 2. I got the size 2 because I knew I was already going to have a baby. But I got it at EcoBuns. If any of you are local, you want to support a small local shop. And she told me how to use it. So to insert it, you kind of do like make a little flower. And then you'll be squatting, insert it in the vagina, and then it'll pop open. You can kind of hear it. And if it doesn't, you can kind of twist it inside you to open it up, but you shouldn't feel it. So I actually could feel mine. They say give it a couple of months and I could feel mine. So I flipped it inside out to make it smaller. And then once I did that, I could no longer feel it. Not all brands can be flipped inside out. So that's one thing I liked about this brand, because if it wasn't the right size, I could kind of maneuver a little bit to make it work for me. But you only have to empty it. You can go 12 hours. So morning and night, if you have a heavy period, you'll probably want to empty sooner. But you can always wear like a cloth pad if you're worried about leaking. for the first couple times you use it. And I would suggest to practice before your cycle. Else it's a little messy the first time. So there is a learning curve, but if you put some coconut oil or some lube on it when you're trying it, it makes things much smoother, easier. But yeah, just sit on the toilet, take 20 minutes you have for yourself and try it out. So that is one way. Another way, if this isn't for you, are cloth pads. So these have also come a long way. I'm just going to show you one. They come in all different sizes. You can get panty liners to big postpartum pads. A lot of them, they just snap on your underwear. You can get ones to go on thongs. They have all different sizes. And same thing, you use them and then you wash them. Super easy if that's something you're interested in and how to clean any of these products, I can help you. But I'm not going to go into big details on that. So that is just about some other products that you can use. And if those items really aren't for you, they do have organic tampons and pads, which could be a different option. But I want to talk about like why I'm sharing these with you. So there's benefits to using like a cloth pad, period underwear, a cup. And so it would be increased comfort. There's less irritation, decreased odor. Like we already talked about, they're cheaper in the long run. And you can wear a cup longer than a tampon. So with a cup too, you can swim, exercise, do anything you would with a tampon. And then many women have lighter periods, lessen cramps, and better moods because they don't have those chemicals seeping into their body. So one thing that
Brooke, you just muted.
Can you hear me? Okay. Sorry. So your vagina is so thin, and the membranes in your vagina, it just soaks everything up. And so you put those chemicals straight into your vagina, you're just soaking all those up. And so with tampons and pads, so there's health concerns, the toxic shock syndrome, which can be life-threatening, and that's where the bacteria is getting into your body and it releases toxins from a tampon being left in too long. And the chemicals found in tampons, they can cause cancer. They're endocrine disruptors, so all your hormones, and reproductive harm, and also, infertility. And so, yeah, the vagina is just so highly absorbable that you're just getting all those tampons, toxins inside you. So another thing, since we kind of touched on different options to use, I also wanted to touch on remedies. I know some of you have painful periods. Thankfully, that's not something that I deal with, but I know a lot of my friends have had very painful cramps. I have family members that do, and I know the typical remedies are like ibuprofen, Tylenol, Midol, and so I wanted to share that there are other options, healthier options out there. So there are tinctures, which are herbal remedies, and just comes in like a glass bottle, and it's herbs. So Earthly is a brand that I like. They make one called Ease the Ache. There's another brand called Wish Garden, and it's a cramp release. Those are two brands that I like, but really there's a lot out there. There's also homeopathic options, and that's Boron. They make a Cycle Ease cramps, so one that's already formulated for cramps. But you can also buy individual ones. And if you go to your local health food store, so here, Harvest Health, they have like a whole wall of homeopathic. And of course, you can order online, but that store is really helpful if you want somebody to walk you through your symptoms. There's also teas that you can drink during your cycle. So Healthy Cycle is one. It's like a raspberry leaf tea. And other quick things to try, heating pads, going for a walk, staying active. So yoga is another good one. Using essential oils on your stomach. You can make sure you use a carrier oil. Same thing, you can do a magnesium lotion on your stomach. Take an Epsom salt bath, a really hot bath with Epsom salts. Again, you can put the essential oils right in there with a carrier oil. And staying hydrated is huge. as well as you could try chiropractor, acupuncture, and making sure you're getting all your vitamins and minerals is huge because during your cycle, you're shedding everything. People talk about how their iron dips way low when they get their cycle. So you need to stay on top of your vitamin and minerals because you will become depleted. So with that, I'm going to send that into Shelby.
And I will be touching on seed cycling and nutrition. So it is a good segue. Because it's so true. We think of sometimes just a lot of different remedies, which I'm so thankful that they're out there. But what if we thought a little bit on the prevention side, of fueling our bodies right, eliminating things that aren't right. So we'll talk about that a little bit at the end, but I'm going to touch on seed cycling. And so the first question is, do you know what seed cycling is? Answer that in your head. And this is something I have practiced. I did it about 3 years ago for about 4-ish months. And this is going to be a longevity practice in your health. This doesn't have to be for a short season. Mine just ended up being a short season because I got pregnant with my daughter and then didn't really think about it. But you could still do this in pregnancy because seeds are holistic. Seeds are from the earth. Seeds are natural. They're good for you no matter what. So we're going to talk about this very briefly here. I have a lot of resources. I have a printout here that kind of breaks down seed cycling, breaks down what to take, how much to eat, when to do it in your cycle. So if anyone would like this printout, you can just ask whoever invited you to this and we will send that to you, get your email and send it to you. So it's just nice having a visual. But anyway, women's hormones, they're a complex system that functions in a delicate balance. So if anything's thrown off with our hormones, women, we have a problem. We are going to probably notice it. And so our hormones are greatly influenced by diet, by our exercise, by our sleep, by our stress levels, and environmental toxins, which Brooke touched on. Toxins in our products can be a major way of impacting our hormones. And so this means there could be a multiple of factors. So we are going to focus on the diet portion. We are going to focus a little bit on that. There's a lot of other factors you can be thinking about, but we're going to focus on the diet with the seed cycling. And so this isn't a cure-all, but seeds are natural. They're from the earth. They're going to do good things for us. And this is something seed cycling can affect your PMS symptoms. It can reduce them. It can boost fertility, and it can help stimulate menstruation if you haven't been having a regular cycle. Also, I did get a lot of this information from a trusted source. If you would like to review all of that, I would be happy to pay that forward to you. Just ask whoever invited you. We can get you the exact information. I'm kind of regurgitating it for you here. So what is seed cycling? Seed cycling is eating specific seeds during the 2 main phases of your menstrual cycle. So we have a follicular phase and a luteal phase. So the follicular is the first 14-ish days of your cycle. And then the luteal phase is the last 14 days-ish. Everyone's number can be a little different of your cycle. And so what kind of divides those two is when you start to ovulate. When your ovulation starts, that's when the luteal phase starts. And so these 2 phases, the first part, the follicular phase, impacts your estrogen levels, and the luteal phase impacts your progesterone levels. So stay with me here. This will all click. So seed cycling is beneficial at any stage, even if you're in menopause. It can be especially beneficial if you're coming off hormonal birth control, if you have irregular periods, if you have acne, if you're trying to get pregnant, you're missing periods, you have PMS. It's just great for anything because women, we need the extra nutrition, right? It's always going to be good for us. So the first 14 days are the follicular phase. And that is when estrogen rises. And that is why the certain seeds, which are ground flax seeds and ground pumpkin seeds, that is the first 14 days. That is why you want ground flax seeds and ground pumpkin seeds, because those impact your estrogen levels those first 14 days, and you want them to rise those first 14 days. That means your hormones are doing a good thing. The last 14 days when you ovulate is your luteal phase, and that is increasing your progesterone levels. And so the two seeds that you would consume the second part of your cycle is ground sunflower seeds and ground sesame seeds. So it's very simple. It's about 1 to 2 tablespoons of each of those 4 seeds, the first 14 days and the last 14 days. So the first 14 is ground flax and ground pumpkin. The second is ground sunflower and ground sesame seeds. And so they are promoting rises in estrogen the first 14 days, rises in progesterone the second 14 days. And so if you don't have a 28-day menstrual cycle, that's okay, because a lot of us don't. So it's best to still follow the 14-day cycle for each phase of seeds. And a lot of people have found when they've been doing that for a while, their body starts becoming, having a regular cycle, kind of in that rhythm within the 28 days. So, how to incorporate this? Well, first, actually, I'll go to, what if you have irregular periods? The information that I received is still stick to the 14 days, 14 days. And there's a reason of that, because of how our cycle is aligned with the moon rotation. Very interesting. So if you are intrigued by that subject and you would like some information, I can send that to you, but I'm just going to leave it there. So how do you incorporate this, right? What do you do? How do I do this? So first, you want to make sure the seeds are ground, because that means your body will absorb it easily. And flax seeds are like, your body can't even absorb it unless it's ground. So really important to grind your seeds. Storing them in the fridge creates them to not oxidize, to have less oxidation. So that's super important, because when our food hits oxygen, it loses nutrients. And so we want our body to have less oxygen. My daughter's finding me. Less oxygen hitting it as possible. So the fridge kind of protects it. And then we also want to have raw seeds, and we don't want them to be roasted or salted. So raw is super important, so nothing's added to it. I'm going to hit on oxidation a little bit in just like a few more minutes, because we're almost done here. So if that didn't make sense because I was distracted by my daughter, sorry about that. So pumpkin seeds, they're high in zinc, and they contain lignans, which bind to estrogen, and our estrogen's increasing those first 14 days. And then the second part, the luteal phase, sesame seeds and sunflower seeds, they help boost progesterone production, and those are also rich in zinc. And they contain lignans that help block excess estrogen while progesterone arises. So I just think that's so cool how our body knows what to do with food. And we always forget that. We always look to outside sources, but these seeds are doing the exact things our bodies need for us when we're in these two different phases as women in our menstrual or in our cycles. Sunflower seeds are also high in vitamin E, which helps boost progesterone. So it's pretty cool. These seeds are also filled with omega-3 and 6, and omegas are super important for all seasons of life, but we're hitting on women's health. So especially for brain, mental health, we can have a lot going on when we're hormonal as women. And so having something that's constant in our bodies with our omegas reduce inflammation in the body. Omegas support your brain, they support your heart, they support your skin. They are a very vital part of women's health. And so it's awesome that those seeds are filled with them. And omega-3s are very popular, but we also need a wide variety of omegas. Omega-3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. They all have different components that impact us as women. And so that's kind of gonna loop me into kind of the next part. And actually, before I go there, I'm also going to say seed cycling takes time to notice things in your body for all those things I listed the benefits of, to notice them. So it might not be like a snap of the hat. It probably won't be, because food is a longevity game, but stay the course, get those 2 tablespoons in a day with granola, you can make it into granola, but some of them is in smoothies, yogurt, protein bites. Brooke said she portioned it all out to make sure that she had those 2 tablespoons a day in her protein bites. You can sprinkle it on toast, on salads and soups. There's multiple ways to get in. I've made like flaxseed shots, and I put a little bit of organic juice and then the tablespoons, and I just downed it. So there's a lot of different ways to get it in your body. But now I'm going to move on to just talk about the power of food, the power of longevity, staying the course. And we are both partnered with Juice Plus. And so I meant to say that at the beginning. We're not going to actually talk too much about it, because we had a lot of other things to say and we want to keep this short and sweet, but we also have learned so much being part of the Juice Plus company, and it's kind of spiraled into learning about other areas of health. And it's one of those things when you're talking about nutrition, you're talking about longevity, you're talking about whole food, that it's really important to hear another option to support your body during your cycle, to support your body in all seasons of life as women. And so I'm just going to show you what Juice Plus is, give you like a 2-minute overview, and then Brooke's going to share a story and we're going to wrap it up. So this is Juice Plus. These are the omegas. They taste like an orange. So they have omega-3 and 6 in them. So if you're like, I don't know if I'm going to do seed cycling, that might be too much for me in this season, but I still want those omegas. You have these, and they have omegas 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9, and they taste like an orange. My kids even eat them, but this made such a difference for me in my pregnancies and postpartum with my emotions. It made a difference with my brain actually knowing what I'm saying. And then this is Juice Plus. So I love that Juice Plus has a nutrition label on it. Juice Plus is loaded with 30 different fruits, vegetables, and berries. They're picked at peak ripeness. They partner with local family farms in the United States. They throw it into like a Vitamix with the seeds, the peels. They kind of pulverize it. And then think of a beet that's cremated, or a blueberry that's cremated, and the sugar is taken out in the water. It's just a little bit of powder. So I'll just show you one of them. That's what's in these. And there's a reason why I'm sharing this, is because all those vitamins that I listed, vitamin A, zinc, or vitamin E, that's in this because that's in food. And our bodies will always need more whole food. Our toxins are increasing, what Brooke talked about, with tampons and just the different products we use, and our food quality is decreasing. And so we really need a way to bridge the gap. And I think it's really important to share this just so people know about it. And it might not be for you, but maybe it's for someone else. This is what it looks like. You can just open it up. My kids also consume these, and my husband. It's safe for all ages, which Brooke will share her story on. And we've been taking these 7 years, and it's truly become kind of a moral obligation to share this option with people if they're looking for more nutrition in their diet, no matter what the day looks like. So, Brooke, take it over before we wrap it up.
All right, one more thing that I forgot to touch on, which is super important, and it goes into this as well. But even if you don't have your menstrual cycle, this is not just about you. Like maybe your granddaughter or your daughter, because what you do affects your children. And that's something that I've been recently learning more about. Like my DNA gets passed to my kids, and I want to learn this stuff too now so that I can teach it to my kids and start my kids out. Hayden, I know she's a baby, but she's gonna get her cycle someday, and I want her using these safe options versus just knowing better and doing better. So That's also why I'm so passionate about this, because it's not just about me. It's about these generations, our grandchildren, our great grandchildren. And it's time for us to make the change. So that also loops into my story. When my son was about a year old, I knew he needed some vitamins, right? I know we're not getting it all from our food. He was a great eater, but I knew he was lacking, and me as well. I could not find a multivitamin that I liked. It either had too much sugar or it had folic acid and not folate acid. And, I was really picky. I literally switched vitamins every month because I knew they weren't great. And so I just would rotate. And then Shelby introduced me to Juice Plus. And when I saw it had a nutrition label versus a supplement, so it's food, game over. I knew that's what I wanted my son on because I wanted the best for him. And I was so excited that it was going to be the same product for my 1-year-old, for me, for my husband, for me when I'm pregnant. So we made the switch to our vitamins. We've been doing it for about 4 years now, and we love it. My son swallows the capsules now, but we went through seasons where we just opened them up, put them in applesauce, or in his juice, and he would drink it. And the omegas have been really beneficial for me. I have plantar fasciitis in my feet. And after about a year of taking the omegas, I noticed my feet were feeling much better. And so it also goes to show it's not a quick fix. Food is not like if you eat a salad, for a couple days or a week, like you're not just going to feel better. And so these things, they take time. Like we've been putting junk in our body for a long time, and it takes time to reverse that. So that's what we do. And then of course I jumped on with the business because if I wanted to be able to save my costs. And so if I could do the business with Shelby and cover my costs every month for me and my son, that was my goal. And so the business has been a blessing for us as well as the products.
And it's been fun to kind of buddy up with someone that cares about other health topics too. There's so much more than just Juice Plus. This is the piece of that puzzle. Like we talked about, there's exercise, there's sleep, there's adequate water. This is the part of the diet that we love to help people bridge that gap. Say you're eating this many fruits and vegetables and you need to eat this much, it just bridges that gap. Also kids, they have kids gummies. Kids over 4 get Juice Plus for free. So I just want to throw that out there. They are super passionate about kids' health. And just like Brooke was talking about, it's about the next generation. It's not just about us. Obviously, we want to live a vibrant, healthy life, but we want to pass it on. So that's an option. They get it free for 20 years. That's thousands of dollars that you're saving, just saying, if you're open. And then lastly, what I love about Juice Plus, it's researched. Brooke has an awesome story. I have an awesome story. I didn't really get to share that much of it. But my energy has decreased. I'm not a coffee drinker, really. Not every day, maybe once a month, just for fun. But anyway, my energy's increased. My pregnancies have been very healthy. My midwives always said my placenta looked very nutrient dense. I use this for all my pregnancies. It has natural folate in it from lemon peel. And our immune systems have been amazing. When we get something, we're over it within 24 hours. We've only had one long stint and my oldest is 6. So I'm just very thankful. We're going to get sick. It's not like we're never going to get sick, but it doesn't have to be as frequent and doesn't have to be as long. So I always tell people this has been awesome immune health benefit. So anyway, there's so many stories. My parents' cholesterol has gone down within a few years, within a few years, not a quick fix. So, anyway, there's so many benefits, there's so many stories, but it's all backed by research. So as much as we love Juice Plus, if it didn't have that research with blood tests done on humans, third-party validation, honestly, I wouldn't feel confident paying it forward. As much as stories are powerful, it needs to be backed by something. And so it's backed by something. It's backed by science in medical journals. And if you're a research person, we can share with you those abstracts. You can read through them. They're very passionate about getting all the information out so people can make the best choice for themselves. But I love that Juice Plus is getting in our bloodstream, just like these seeds that I talked about. They're getting in our bloodstream because our body knows what to do with food. Our body recognizes it as food. Our body recognizes this as food. There's research done on that actually being absorbed in the bloodstream. When a lot of things we consume that are other options for health, they're not absorbed in our bloodstream and our body doesn't know what to do with it. And so it's kind of expensive pee and it can do more harm than good. And so it's really important to, look at the holistic options out there. Lastly, Juice Plus has a protein powder. We use this in protein drinks. We use this in our oatmeal. It stabilizes your blood sugar so you're not like all over the place. And I don't know about you, but I like something sweet, but I want it to be good for me. I don't want it to be like crappy quality. So this is great quality. There's also research done on this complete with cancer patients. So we're short on time, so I'm not going to explain it all, but if you want to hear about it, this is awesome. It tastes good. If you want a sample, ask who invited you. We love to share that with people. Just another way to get in plants, another way to get our healthy calories in from the power of food. So that is kind of all we have for you. We hope that you take something with you, whether you want to make a change to your holistic remedies for your menstrual cycle, or change what you use during your menstrual cycle, or start seed cycling, or add Juice Plus, or maybe you'll do none of it, but you were just intrigued by this information. We're glad you're here. And if you are passionate or these subjects excite you and you're thinking of people to share this with, tell us, because we love talking to people who are natural sharers and naturally think about other people, because that's truly our mission as well, is just paying it forward. We want to get the information out, and we need more friends to do it with. So thank you for coming. Brooke, do you have anything else to say? You're good to go. Okay, awesome. Goodbye, everyone, and have a good night or a good day or whatever. Bye-bye.
Bye.